Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons why the post-apocalypse will be awesome. But before I get into that, I'd like to thank 3 of our subscribers who contribute a lot into the comments, and it's always good stuff. So I'd like to just point them out and give them the recognition they deserve. First of all, Evasion Survival Alaska. He's a regular contributor to the comment section, and he's got a lot of good stuff to say. And he also has a YouTube channel, which I subscribe to personally. And if you can look at the name Evasion Survival Alaska. So it's a pretty niche topic, but it's cool stuff if you're interested in that. And I highly suggest you go check him out. The second one I'd like to point out is Ozark Refugee. A lot of you have probably seen his thoughts in the comments. He's constantly contributing to our thought pool with some really interesting stuff. So thank you as well, Ozark. I appreciate you. And finally, I'd like to thank Remedy Hawk, a longtime subscriber and contributor. We don't always agree on everything, but I always leave our conversations feeling a little wiser and a little more thoughtful. Thank you very much, Remedy. I appreciate it. I hope you realize that. And now on to the show. The 5 reasons why the post-apocalypse will be awesome. And number 5, which could be number 1, is that Gen X will be there. We're going to be there. So that'll make it awesome off the bat. We'll be teaching the youngsters. We'll be getting it done. We'll be rebuilding society. I think I'm going to do a video in the future about some things that we should add to the Constitution. Some more amendments we should add to the Constitution that might fix what is going wrong today. Some stuff that our founding fathers kind of didn't foresee. As we can see now, there are some things they didn't foresee. They did a really good job, but they weren't perfect. We could add a few things, not take away anything, not a syllable, not a sentence, nothing. Just add a few things. But Gen X will be there. We will be rebuilding. We will be surviving, teaching, thriving. That's number 5. Number 4, in a post-apocalyptic world, you have to earn what you get. Yep. If you want something, you got to earn it. Nobody's going to hand you anything. I mean, maybe as a gift or a friendly gesture, but not because you deserve it just for being alive, just for being born. Everybody's gonna figure out that they don't deserve something just for being born. They don't deserve someone else to support their existence. They're gonna have to go out and get it. Chop trees, drag a deer through the woods, plant a garden, whatever. If they want to survive, if they think they deserve something, then they've got to earn it. And that's what this country is built on. That's what our nation has been, the main idea that society has been centered around for the entire time until recently. And that's honestly a shame to see that go away. To see entitled people thinking that they're allowed to take from other people or have the government take from other people and give to them, and having done nothing to earn it. For a lot of us, that's a really sickening attitude. It's a sickening thing to see. A lot of people out there working hard to earn what they have, and then a subsection of society just feeding off of that, existing off of that hard work instead of working hard themselves. Get what you earn. Earn what you get. That's freedom. That's the American way. Number 3, it will level the playing field. And I get a lot of static about this one. So I'm going to repeat myself in here and talk about level the playing field, because people have the idea that billionaires will go down and hide in their bunkers and they're going to be better off than we are. Okay. Now, would you rather go spend the rest of your life in a hole in the ground, no matter how luxurious that hole in the ground is? There's only so many square feet you have to live in. No sunshine, no breeze in your face, no wind. I think I'll go over, 10 miles over here to the lake and do some fishing today. Nope. you're in a hole in the ground. And in most apocalyptic scenarios, if they do poke their head up above the ground, or even if they're found by another group that is above, they're in trouble. They've got to stay underground. Because those billionaires, everybody recognizes them. So everybody knows who they are. If we see them, we know that that'd be like finding a loot crate. Oh, look what I found. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Bill, let me get that with you. Yeah, that's mine now. Now I got an underground pantry. So yeah, and they might have security. Maybe they'll have some security guards around there, but they don't have enough security. They won't have enough security guards. I'll tell you that. Depending on the situation, there are going to be a lot of hungry people up here, and it won't be a good situation for them. They're not going to be able to just jump in their Rolls Royce stretch limo and drive to the coast and get in their yacht. They're not going to be able to get in their private plane and fly around the world anymore. They're going to be stuck in a hole in the ground, and if they do come out for a breath of fresh air, they're probably not going to be able to get back in, depending on how well they're hidden. But eventually somebody will stumble across them and then go back for reinforcements. So it's not like they're going to, and then, okay, they're billionaires, and then the shit hits the fan, right? And, okay, they're not billionaires anymore. Currency goes away. What's the sense in being a billionaire if you can't jet set around the planet and, give interviews and smoke $1,000 cigars and all this dumb shit that they do, all the stuff they do that isn't helping humanity in any way? So what's the point? They're not billionaires anymore. They got a fancy hole in the ground. I get it. I don't have a fancy hole in the ground, but I'm free. I'm looking at the stars. I'm fishing, doing whatever I want to do. They're not free. They might as well be in a prison, except a prison is above ground and they can see the sun through a window or something probably. I wouldn't take that hole in the ground. I mean, I would use it as a pantry, but I'd want to be up above. So no, I don't think that the billionaires will still be billionaires. I don't think that they'll have their yachts and their planes and all that stuff. And if they do come out of their holes and they don't get ripped apart, they're going to be walking through the same forest or whatever landscape that I'm walking through. So the playing field will be level. The only difference is that for a few years, they'll just have a food supply there where I have to eat fresh game, fresh fish. It's a toss-up there on that little slice of the situation, their food supply versus my fresh supply. Who's the winner there, in my opinion? So we'll see. I think it'll level the playing field. And that's the way I would bet if I had to bet. Number 2, what we do will matter again. We won't just be going to work to pay taxes and bills and blah, 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 blah. We will be surviving. We will be living. We will be caring. We will be truly alive. I know sometimes a lot of us probably feel like drones or robots, just going out to the same place, doing the same thing for the same amount of time on the same days, and then coming back to go to sleep, clean up, eat, and go back and do it again. This week is just like last week, was just like last month, was just like last year. Does it really matter, the physical things we do? It doesn't seem like that a lot of the time. But in a post-apocalyptic world, almost everything you do would matter. Imagine if it's cold and you were starting a fire. That would matter. When you come home after working all day and, the air conditioning's already set to whatever, 70, you plop down on your couch and click the TV or whatever we do. Did anything matter? When you're out hunting to eat, to support your family, every shot will matter. When you're out fishing, every cast will matter. Because you'll be burning daylight and you want to get back to your your camp or whatever, or your home, and with some food for your family. So everything will matter. Almost every decision, almost every action will matter. And that's missing from life today, because we do so much that just doesn't matter. The government's going to take it, a big chunk of it. If we don't pay our taxes, we got to pay taxes for our homes. We got to pay taxes on everything we buy. We're just taxed up one side and down the other. So a big portion of our income just goes to taxes. Does that matter? And they're just going to send it overseas or do something other stupid crap with it. And number one, freedom. We will have freedom. And I'm not talking about freedom to take other people's freedom or to harm other people. I'm not talking about anarchy kind of freedom. I'm just talking about personal liberty. Think about all these victimless crimes they have. You can ride down a complete safe country road at 70 miles an hour on your motorcycle if you wanted to, without the fear of being pulled over and having $250 stolen from you. If you're being safe and there's no one being harmed, I don't believe that you should be able to be robbed by the government. That's just me. Now, we have laws to protect children and animals because though they cannot protect themselves. Those laws I agree with. So, school zones and, don't abuse children, don't abuse animals, and abuse is different from discipline and corporal punishment. I'm talking about abuse. There are laws that I think, victimless crime laws that are in place that are necessary and good. Not talking about across the board. And I'm sure everybody can pull out many more that I'm either don't have time to list here or that I'm unaware of. I get it. Not going to argue that point. But the vast majority of victimless crime laws are unnecessary. If you're being safe, if you haven't injured another person or taken their liberty or their property, then why are you being punished? And that's just the way I see it. And for those of you who don't know, I value freedom at the highest. It is the highest thing, the highest ideal, the highest goal that humanity should attain, that we should be working to attain. Freedom is the most important thing, because without freedom, what good is anything else? And there's a famous quote, I don't know it verbatim, but those who would trade liberty for security don't deserve either one, because freedom and safety are always like this. The most safe you can be is to be tied up in a rubber room, a padded room with the door locked, and so nobody can get in and hurt you. You can't even hurt yourself. That's complete safety. All right. But it's zero freedom. And on the other end is complete anarchy. No one is safe, but we're completely free to do whatever we want. And for a long time, the United States of America was about 3/4, over the 50% mark toward the anarchy. We weren't allowed to hurt other people, but we weren't really constricted against hurting ourselves. We could do dangerous stuff, that might hurt ourselves. That's what freedom's about. And freedom is the right to be wrong. I can do wrong stuff as long as it's not against somebody else, taking away someone else's freedom. The freedom to live, the freedom to be happy, the freedom to own their property, the freedom, anybody else's freedom, you're not allowed to violate. And that's the way I see post-apocalyptic societies. Well, if I was to make one, that's the way it would be. If you're not hurting anybody else, have at it. Go ahead. Do your thing. And we can go on into the environment sometimes. You can't pollute the water, stuff like that. We need to protect the environment too. So that can be thrown in there with children and animals. We need laws to protect things that cannot protect themselves. So these huge corporations polluting our planet, I'm not with that either. But freedom has to be our highest ideal. It has to be. And for the people who do not do not comprehend what freedom is and do not know its value have never lost it, have never signed away their freedom to a government and joined the military. They've never done anything like that, so they don't know how much they have to lose until they lose it. And that's the only way you really learn. But that's by the time you learn the lesson, it's too late. And I'll leave you there with that. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can hop over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I'll put that link down in the description. We've got some pretty cool Gen X gear over there at Redbubble. Gen X and Gen X Things branded stuff. Feel free to hop over there and check that out too. I'll put that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. Thank you very much for those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us in the emails over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.